Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And it's sadly, if I am pronouncing that right, Raymond Briggs has died just after Olivia Newton-John. So he died around just about 1 day later after Olivia Newton-John died. So yeah, this is a very nice Christmas special of my nostalgia. Yeah, as again, I'm not sure. So thank you much for checking out the second season of my nostalgia. Because in last season of my nostalgia it was pretty boring with the Christmas special, because in the last Christmas special, with my nostalgia, we always I just done something boring, saying, oh, why don't we look at the Clifford one, because the Clifford movie where we live, in this country, came out in December time, so we can probably take a view about the old Clifford that we grown up as a kid. But sadly, it was copyrighted, so we had to trim it down. But anyway, I'll talk about copyright claims or whatever about in my videos in another Let's Talk video. But this is my nostalgia. When we look at the title, my nostalgia, so we're going to look at, I guess, David Bowie's biggest Christmas movie, because apparently he was in it. Every time I see the credits for this film, I never see David Bowie, but apparently he was in the Snowman, even though there's no voices for any people in that film. Don't know. Anyway, this film is a very good film. It's called The Snowman, and this is illustrated by, Raymond Briggs, and he died, so this is also in memory video, clue. Yes, and I'm not sure. If you hear voices in the back, I always say in these videos, if you hear voices in the background, I'm so sorry, I can't help it. My next door people can't stop doing these noises. So if you can hear stuff in the background, I'm so sorry. In the future, if I'm rich enough, if I can afford it, I'll have a thick walls. No, I'll have like a soundproof room, so you won't hear another side to the house or next door neighbours or whatever. So anyway, if you can't hear it, I look completely stupid right now. But I mean, yeah. So this film, as again, I don't know if it's copyrighted at the moment, because when you make a video, sometimes you don't know if it's copyrighted, and you have to edit again and then publish it again, and then it's like, oh, I'm not sure what to do, and so at the end of the day, I might edit this video out a little bit, and then it looks a little bit bizarre and it doesn't fit in properly, just like my other videos recently. So yeah, anyway, let's begin. My nostalgia. So obviously, when you can tell by this film, I don't know, it's just I like how the animation is so, as again, it's an animation video. There's lots of animation videos on the channel, but I mean, yeah. So this animation, it's drawn by either a little bit of pen and a little bit of pencil at the same time, like colouring pencils and pens, and it's made in 1980s. So you know, and I'm not sure if it's a 1980s kids show, because it's mainly a family show. And this I don't know, the Snowman, personally, for me, I don't know, I'm not sure, I just find the Snowman pretty nostalgic, really, even though it came out in the 80s and I wasn't born in the 80s. But I mean, it came around the BBC time, at Christmas time, like the Gruffalo or whatever. Where we live, we grew up with the Gruffalo or something else around Christmas time. And also about your country, though, with your local, in your country, you have your local stations, obviously, on television, but I mean, you have those weird but really memorable kind of really lovely kids or family Christmas movies. around that time, and the Gruffalo is one of them. It always comes out on BBC, BBC, around the time of Christmas, and I don't know why, but it does. But anyway, with this, it's also the Snowman, and we don't see much of the Snowman that much. I don't know why, we just don't. But recently, when there was a sequel to the Snowman, Snowman and the Snow Dog, I didn't really get into it. Okay, maybe because I was going to the older child mode, but I was really grown up with the Snowman, the first one, and I don't know, it's just really weird because I feel like, even though this is one of the most nostalgic shows, I feel like, or films, I feel like this is like, I do like his work, but the other film I really love from his artwork or his his films or whatever is F1 Ernest, and I might do a review about that. I'm not sure, but I mean, like, yeah. So I know I'm not taking this seriously. I'm not taking it in detail about the Snowman because I really want to do another video at the same time today of what the actual day that I'm doing this video, obviously. So I know that's not really good, but I mean, like, I got a deadline. But again, I'm gonna take this seriously with this film. I'm not sure why, but I feel like every time I look at this film, every single time, because I taped it on my, I got a tape kind of recorder on my TV. I got like 2 TVs in my house. I got a TV when you have YouTube, you have Disney Plus, that sort of TV, and I have an old TV, like a second-hand TV that I bought down the street, and now it sounds really dodgy, but it's not dodgy. Anyway, so yeah, I really like the Snowman. I think it's, I don't know, I feel like, when you watch things as a kid and you look back at them and you think, did I really watch that? And these are one of the films, this is not a show, but this is one of the films, you can call it a show really, because this is one episode, and it's about like 20 minutes or so. I'm not sure, because when a certain program comes out from your childhood that isn't really adulty and not really kiddish at the same time, it's all like, it's a family kind of show, and you feel like it's not really a normal family show like, in the summertime or something. It's a Christmas film, but it's quite nostalgic because evolution of time with kids films, you might think, this show right now is really good, but you personally, the adults say, it's kind of stupid. That's what I say about recent kids shows, probably because I've never seen them, but when I do see the kids shows, weirdly enough, I think they're really weird, probably because they've grown up with simple shows like Fireman Sam from the 80s, Thomas the Tank Engine from the 80s as well. I watched mainly lots of 80s kid shows, but I mean, like from the UK, not from, I used to watch Barney and I didn't like it, but I mean, like, I did like it, but it's like one of those kids shows that you have to watch because that's the only thing that was on the VHS at the time, what I mean? So anyway, back to the Snowman. Yeah, it's one of those films on that you just tape or you just watch, and the first time I came out, around the 2000s, because most films, short films at Christmas time, this Bond sometimes. Well, really, personally, I didn't know it came out in the 80s, and I thought it came out in the 1990s, but nope. No, obviously, I do really love classically. I can't speak today. I really classically love this film, but this short film is basically around like 20 or 30 minutes long. But I mean, like, when you look back at it, you think, that's not good. That is good. That bit's not good. That bit is good. You know what I mean? Because some scenes, when you think, is that Snowman alright because he's wearing makeup? Is he something? And I was gonna say something. Get it? No, you didn't. Whatever. I was gonna say that word, but I mean, like, some people get offended. But I mean, like, the 80s was weird, but it was also You think the 1980s was a good time? I thought so. And then I watched lots of kids shows and they're not really good. But I mean, like, yeah. So, I do think that some of the scenes from this show, I always say show with this. I know it's not a show from this film. I'm gonna call it a show just because. Sorry about that, guys. I had to go and leave the room. I am back now. You can obviously tell I left the room. But I mean, like, yeah, this show is really nostalgic. No, film. This film is very nostalgic because when you watch something from your childhood, you think it's not really nostalgic, but you kind of think it is, and then you kind of not. And these are one of the ones that you kind of think it is, but at the same time, it's really nostalgic because how much they put effort into it and how much it's more memorable than the 80s. Because most 80s or 90s, I wasn't born in those times, but you know what I mean. But most shows back then, they just put on because of a deadline or a schedule, or the BBC wanted you to do this and that. But I mean, like, yeah, all these sort of things still happen. But I mean, like, but then the Snowman is so memorable nowadays, and how much, you know. And I know I keep on saying this, it's so nostalgic. I really like it. I got a nostalgic feeling, even though that's not really a big thing. That's not in the dictionary. But I mean, like, you know, that's gonna be a big trademark in this series. But I mean, like, especially when the song "Flying in the Air." Or floating in. No, I can't speak today. But I mean, I have watched this film recently around Christmas time, and I'm flying in the air. I'm not gonna sing it because that's even worse. But I mean, like, that film, that song, you know, that song bit in the film is really heavenly. I don't know why. It is really heavenly vibey, heavenly something. I don't know why it just is. It's just one of those kid shows that you think, kids shows, kids films, kids whatever from those days makes it really, especially around Christmas time, makes it really likable. And some of the scenes, as I said before in this video, some of the scenes like, is that good? Is that bad? Is that good? Is that bad? Especially when he dressed up as a well, people say a very pretty man when he's supposed to be a snowman. I'm not sure, pretty something. But I mean, like, back in those days, you can do whatever you want in the 2000s, 1980s, 1990s, and now it's really strict, and you can tell why. But I mean, like when you look back on these sort of things, it's quite weird. And as again, in the 2000s and the early 2010s, it was getting more less strict and less silly. So it was like in the middle of what we can do, and it is for children as well. So yeah. But I mean, like, this film, personally, every time I watch it, like every time I look back on it, I think I can remember as a kid when I watched this film. It was one of those films, or one of those short films when you watch on television thinking, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be bad, maybe, I'm not sure. Hey dad, hey mom, can I just watch this and see what it's all about? And I didn't turn it on, and I expect you to like it, and I really did like it. Quite emotional though, especially at the end, spoiler alert, when he died, and I really did cry a lot inside, not physically, because I had a tear in my eye, I think. I'm not sure, but when I cried inside, it was really emotional, just like other films from the 2000s. Maybe, I'm not sure. I didn't really watch that much kid shows from the early 2000s really late or something, because there was some kid shows. I know that some later shows are for adults, obviously, but I mean, like, some later shows are for kids also. So I didn't watch that much, or those those times of kid shows. I just watched the kids shows from the early time to mid time to whatever time, not the late time, like what happened to the Snowman, you know, with the, you know, if you remember what release date or whatever, you know what time it is, but I can't remember what release date it was. Especially, all I know about the release date, it was like really in like the early 2000s, probably early 2000s, early 2010s. But I mean, like, yeah, at the end of the day, we can't remember if it's good or bad. That we don't know what time it is and what late time and everything like that. And if I'm seeming like I'm just watching this video, I'm not. I just really want to make this video because otherwise I'll forget what I have to do today. But I mean, like, I did write everything down. I'm not going to show you my script because it looks stupid. It's not stupid, but it looks stupid when I say, oh, this is what I got. I'm going to put all this stuff down, and this is what I put. No, I'm not going to do that. So this film, personally, like, especially at the end when the boy, I'm not sure what his name is, at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know the parents' names, whatever. No, his name is James. His name is James. And he, for some reason, meets Father Christmas. I mean, you're supposed to not see Father Christmas. You're supposed to see Father, obviously, you need to see Father Christmas. But I mean, at Christmas time, you're not supposed to see Father Christmas. You're supposed to request about Father Christmas in a letter, but you cheated. You met him. I'm gonna blame on the Snowman. Is that why he got melted? Is that why that Father Christmas just cursed him to get all melted because of the sun? At the end of the day, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not sure what we can say about this film really. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it what? I don't know. Most films recently that I've watched is the same sort of thing. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. Like the Railway Children, Elvis, Lightyear. We don't know if it's bad or good or not. You know, so most films nowadays hasn't got good charms in it that much that we want to. And if you're like really young or whatever and you think it's really charming, most adults think it's charming, but at the same time they don't think it's charming. If that makes sense. I don't think I said it right, but you know. But yeah, you got the idea. So whatever I have to say about this film, this Snowman, actually, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to say about this. I was going to say something horribly wrong, like, this film sucks. But I really love the film because of how much effort put into it. And as a kid, you won't really understand that much, you know, time to put into it. You just think, oh, it's a good flick, whatever. Yeah, can I watch something else? You know, so back in those days, when you were a kid, you just want to watch something on the TV, and then you want to watch something else on the TV. You know, but if you're like, if you was like a kid in the 1980s and you just watched this film, you think the same sort of thing. What's next, Mum? Oh, it's nearly time for bed. Yeah, no. So, but now you have a long period of time, even at night time, the TV's still on, if you know what I mean. So, but back in the 80s, they still had a limit of time of broadcast or whatever, so on the TV, so it's kind of strict with or whatever. I don't know what happened. I keep on moving on to a different subject. I know I'm not supposed to do that in videos like this, but yeah, Christmas time. What are we going to do about this? Like, there's lots of bad stuff recently about climate change and all around prices where we live in the United Kingdom. So yeah, as again, we're having a harsh time. So I know this has nothing to do with the Snowman, but I mean, like, yeah, we need to be very careful what we're gonna buy for Christmas. That was what I was trying to say anyway, because it was to do with Christmas time and the Snowman. And I really want to look back on Ethel and Ernest, that film, because I really love that film. And with the memory of Raymond Briggs, you just need to understand that you need to watch something of his. I think, yeah, I do remember watching The Snowman. I really loved it, but I can't remember any single bit of it. But I mean, like, but I'm completely different to you. I loved the film. I remember when it first came on TV when I was a kid, and I loved the hell out of it. I know I'm not supposed to say the H word, but I mean, like, I really loved it. So emotional, so active, with especially with the Snowman knowing what about the heat and knowing about what kind of things the parents wore and what the kid does, and You know, because he just came to life. He doesn't really know such stuff. So why does he know how to drive a motorbike? How did he know how to fly? We don't know. He's been cursed. Ooh, I know it's not Halloween, but still. Ooh. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I got nothing. Actually, I have got lots of stuff to say. But the thing is, I can't put lots of things in the description because YouTube hates me if I do that. Dun dun dun. I'm not gonna put all the stuff in the box of the description bit. But I mean, like. So anyway, this film is really good. I really want you to check it out one day. And if you're living in a different country and you never had this sort of thing, please check it out. Links in the description as well. So yeah, please check it out. And you don't like this film, you just think, hey Greg, you're wrong. It's not good. It's bad. Well, that's your point of view. This is my point of view, thinking it's good. So at the end of the day, we're human beings. This is what we like. This is what I hate. This is what, you know, da 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 da. So but yeah, for me personally, for my nostalgia, I really loved this film, especially when it came out at Christmas time, because, you know, as a teen, as a adult, you finally realise that it hasn't got Christmas nowadays. Lots of years of Christmas, it's not that magical anymore. But when you're a kid, you really love Christmas. I still love Christmas. I'm not saying I hate Christmas, but I mean, like, it's not really magical. Not because I don't believe. I do believe in Santa Claus and God in it. And God, I do believe in God. But I mean, like, I just don't feel that much energy with Christmas vibe, Christmas everything. No, seriously, I don't. I don't know. It's really emotional for me personally. I think, oh my God, why do I don't like Christmas anymore? I still do, but I don't feel like I like Christmas. I'm growing old and I don't like anything anymore. It's really like being a teenager, even though I am a teenager, and I really love things like this. The only things I like is watching garbage on television. That's not what my parents says, but it's not garbage, it's good. What do you know, people? What do you know? Everything about television, everything about what we like. You parents suck. But anyway, at the end of the day, we're human beings. This is what we like, and we have to suffer with parents liking lots of garbage on television. But yeah, so I think at the end of the day, Snowman is ahead of his time, especially nowadays. You look back on it, even though you still see it every single Christmas time, probably, I'm not sure, but I mean, like, when you look at it, you still think, what decade did it first come out? Just so you like, that sort of thing you think of. But it was really from the 1980s. You would think it's from the 1980s, would you? Especially, you know, so wow. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Just how much this film has evolutioned. I'm not sure, maybe because it's, I don't think it is. I doubt if it has. I'm ashamed of you all, but hopefully it hasn't been remastered, because looking back on it now, it's still good. At least they probably remastered it, as I said before. And then when I watched it as a kid, I can't really remember it. But even though I did, I think I blocked out of my mind with the horrible animation stuff, and then they remastered it for some reason. Because you weirdos don't understand legendary, evolutional, best Academy Award for I'm flying in the air. You know, what is up with you people? What is up with you? Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Ow! That. Maybe I won't hit my computer anymore. I think I deserved that. I was being a little bit harsh about the film. About you two. About you all, actually, not you two. As again, I am not blaming the people who was responsible of making the film. I'm blaming the people who wanted to make remasters. You know what I mean. So yeah, I like the film personally, but I just don't feel like I'm not in the mood for showing my kids recent Christmas films. I will probably show my kids recent Christmas films if it's good, but when it's to do with nostalgic wise, I'll just let my kids, or if I had kids, or if I had my friends' sons or daughters, and I'm like their uncle figure or something, like a babysitter, and then when I say on babies, no, when you know what I mean. When I look after them, when they're out having a meal. I mean, the parents or whatever, my friends, But I mean, like, I'm just gonna force them watching the Snowman or whatever is on front of the television from our childhoods. There's real, better Christmas movies. There's a do with Christmas anyway. If it's doing another matter, it'll be another matter. But I mean, like, another season. So yeah, at the end of the day, this film is a good film. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm not saying it's nostalgically meh. I'm not sure. It's nostalgically great. Okay, it's great. Even though that's nothing to do with Christmas. Even though it's called Frosties. No pun included. Anyway, I'll see you all next time, and I'll see you in the next season of My Nostalgia, season 3. Bye. What?